Hi, in this video we're going to cover the setup of Xero Webhooks with the fmAccounting link Xero Edition version 2. So there's a few steps that we need to cover, so let's jump in. So I'm going to go to the Xero website, and on the My Apps page I've got my OAuth 2 apps here. So I'm going to go into my first one that I'm going to use for this demo. Now this OAuth 2 app is already set up. If you come over to the fmAccounting link file, I've already put in my client IDs and I can authenticate. If I just click update organization, that's all working well. So that part's already set up. So you need to have the OAuth 2 app set up and ready to go. And then you'll see that there's a tab at the top here called Webhooks. And this is where we can subscribe to notifications from Xero anytime certain events happen. So at the moment they have support for changes to both contacts and invoices. So we can elect to receive updates from Xero automatically via the webhook process when a contact or an invoice is changed, and that includes when an invoice is paid. So I'm going to tick both of those options, and then I'm just going to paste in the URL to my fmAccounting link webhook.php file that I've got hosted on one of my servers, and I'm going to click save, and that's going to generate a webhook key. So I'm just going to copy that. Now if we have a look at the actual PHP file itself, you'll see there's a few things you need to enter. You need to put in the host name. So if you're using the data API, it's going to be the DNS name of your FileMaker server, or if it's the PHP API one, it'll be the IP address or the DNS name of your FileMaker server. The database name, it's going to be either the single organization or the multi-organization file. We've got a Webhooks account, and then down here we've got a space to put in your webhook key. So let's just replace, so this is where you would replace that. So I've got a file already set up on my server that I'm ready to go. So I'm just going to go in here and replace the webhook key with the one from Xero. Going to hit save to upload that to the server. So that's now ready to go. So the next step is to go through this process called intent to receive. So let me just hide some stuff and we'll show you how this works. So I'll open up my fmAccounting link file. I'm just going to create a new window, and I'm going to go down to the webhooks folder and the webhooks layout, and this lets me see any webhooks that are sent from Xero to this file via the PHP file. So there's no records in here at the moment, so I'm going to go and hit send intent to receive, and that's just a process where Xero authenticate with our PHP file, and we prove that we have that webhook key, and there's a few steps involved that involve encoding and decoding that, and you can see some records are starting to get created over here. So I know something's happening, and this is the in fact the intent to receive request, and it was successful because I know this record was created, and there's no events in this. It's just a little request to make sure that we can successfully authenticate requests coming from Xero. Now this status is in progress. This should change automatically to OK, and it can take, it says here, up to 30 seconds. I'm just going to click save to just force that to refresh, and we should see the status is now OK. So that means I'm past the validation, I'm ready to go. I can start receiving webhook events when a contact or an invoice is either created or updated. So let's jump over into Xero. I'm going to go and create a new contact. So if we jump over to contacts, we can see I've got 77 contacts. I'll just scroll to the end. I'll keep my webhooks layout open as well, and I'm just going to go and create a new contact. So we'll just come up with a name. Sydney Proprietary Limited. Oops. And I won't bother filling in anything else. I'm just going to hit save, but that'll be enough to trigger the webhook. So that's a contact created event webhook. So we should see shortly another record created here and another contact record created automatically. So these generally come through fairly quickly in my testing so far. So we'll just give it a few more seconds. There you go. There you can see record number 2 and record number 78. So we can see here is the event. We know it's a contact category event, and it's the event type is create. So it's a new contact that's being created, and here's the resource ID, and that's essentially the Xero contact ID for that particular record. So if I scroll down, we can see Sausages Sydney has been created, and I've pulled that record down so it has the latest data. Now if I was to make a change to a contact record, a similar process would occur, except this time it would be updating the contact. So let's look at invoice. So common scenarios, you might have an invoice. Let me go and grab an invoice ID that needs to be paid. So here's an invoice that's outstanding, and the payment might get updated in Xero, and we need to know in FileMaker automatically, ideally, when that invoice has been paid. So this is a great use for Xero Webhooks. So let's go and open up this invoice in Xero so I can go through the payment process. So I'm just going to add a payment. We'll say it was $2,500 paid today, paid to the business bank account, and put in a reference number and click add payment. So that invoice has been updated. We haven't changed the invoice itself, but we've simply recorded a payment against that invoice, and that's also included in the invoice update webhook trigger. And you can see that that invoice payment has just appeared automatically, and if we go to the webhooks layout, we can see there's a third record, and this time it's the invoice and it's an update, and that's the invoice ID. So we've got a page on our website that covers all the details about setting up these webhooks with fmAccounting Xero Edition. So let us know if you have any questions. Thanks for your time.